Hey guys, Doug McIntyre, Fox Sports soccer writer, and I'm delighted to be joined by LA Galaxy veteran Sacha Kljestan and Charlotte FC rookie Chris Hegardt. Now, you guys played against each other on Saturday night in front of the largest crowd in MLS history, but you guys actually met 12 years earlier, Chris, when you were just 8 years old. So I'll start with you. Can you tell us how you and Sacha first met all those years ago?
Yeah, it was definitely a long time ago. But I just remember like I was in the hospital when I was, I think like 7 or 8 years old. And I think, when you're in the hospital, when you're little, like there's always like some visitors that come that are like professional athletes, like from the Lakers, from the Galaxy, from Chivas back then. And I think I remember they just told me that like a pro soccer player was going to come in that day. And I was huge into soccer and that was like my whole life. So I think that really stood out to me. And I was super, super excited to meet Sacha.
What do you remember about the day that stands out? You were wearing a Real Madrid jersey? I noticed. Was that intentional because you knew he was coming? What do you remember the conversation like?
Yeah, I'm just a huge soccer guy in general. So Real Madrid's not even my team. I like Barcelona. I just remember from that day, Sacha coming in, and I think it was so cool to me because I've never really met like a pro. I have, but like, he was a big time national team player at the time, making appearances. And I think that was just like, it was so cool because it's just like, I'm like this little 7-year-old boy, who's sick in the hospital. And for him to like take the time, meant the world to me. And, it just showed me like what I could be if I like kept going. And I think, I'm so grateful that he made time out of his day to come to the hospital that day. So.
And you were in hospital with liver cancer. Is that correct? How long have you been cancer free for?
Yeah, I've been cancer free for 12 years now, 12 or 13 maybe. No, 12 I think.
Yeah.
And so actually the day I made my MLS debut versus DC United, the opening weekend was actually the day that I was 13 years cancer free. So it was pretty cool day for me. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. And Sacha, what do you remember? What do you remember about that day all those years ago?
As I look back on the photos and I just see like how big Chris was smiling, I just remember a kid that was just still had a big smile on his face despite the circumstances. And to me, that was really mind blowing. I was a young guy back then and I didn't have kids yet, but to think like if my daughter now is the same age, was in the hospital, like, yeah. I don't know. I just, he was still smiling and like in a good mood and was excited to meet me and my wife. And that part was just really touching. I think he was brave throughout the whole time. And, getting to see him again this past weekend, that was just amazing. But it was just a special day because he seemed like he was still in a good mood. And I'm glad that we were there to just put a smile on his face a little bit.
Yeah. And now fast forward to last Saturday. Now you posted about this. You were approached in the hotel lobby. Tell us what happened.
I was in the hotel lobby waiting for a friend of mine to come over to the hotel who I hadn't seen since his wedding in Charlotte 7 years ago. And about 2 minutes before he walked in, Chris's mom approached me and introduced herself and reminded me of that day. Yeah. And then she had photos on her phone that she showed me. And then they started telling me about Chris, how he'd gone to Georgetown, how he was a Sounders Academy player, and they traded his rights to Charlotte. And I was mind blown because I hadn't heard about Chris since I visited him. So I had never been able to get an update. And so it was just one of those things where you're just like, no way. Like it's such an amazing thing. I'm glad that, he obviously was a very passionate soccer kid back then and stuck with his dreams and they told me that he had made his debut against DC. As soon as I got back to my room, I started Googling him and checking out his career and all that stuff. And then, I figured I had to post it on Twitter because I just thought it was such a special story. And, then we both got on the field in the second half. It was really kind of came full circle. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you were able to exchange jerseys after the match, and you gave him a jersey, right, when you went to visit him at the time. So you got his jersey back. You said you wanted to get it. What was that moment like, and what did you say to each other in that moment? I'll start with you, Chris.
Yeah, I just told him thank you again for like visiting me, and when I was a kid, like it helped me so much, and kind of gave me motivation to get to where I am today. And I thought it was just so cool because like I mean, for him as well, like, you know, you visit a lot of kids like when you're a pro athlete, right? You do a lot of community service stuff. And I mean, like Sacha said, you never know like where these kids end up. And I mean, to see that was probably so cool for him and just so cool for me, and a dream come true to play in front of 75,000 people in this great city of Charlotte. So it was just surreal for me.
Yeah, a special moment and a special atmosphere. Sacha, any plans for the jersey? Do you know what you want to do it?
I've got 3 bins of jersey in my garage now that are just, I don't know what I'm going to do with them when I'm done playing, but it's in the collection now. It's sitting right on top. And I mean, it's a cool jersey. The Charlotte jerseys are nice. So it's part of a good collection.
Well, it's a great story, guys. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing it with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks guys for having us.
Yeah. Thanks guys. Appreciate it.
I was trying to put myself in Chris's parents' shoes now that I have kids at this age and everything. Like, never, I don't think in a million years that day would his parents have thought like that we would be on the same field one day, let alone like in front of 75,000 people and all that. And then, you know, Chris came in and had a good game. I thought, you know, in his few minutes that he actually made a difference in the game. So that was cool to see.
Yeah. Chris, did you know your parents were gonna do that? Did you have any inkling that was gonna happen?
No, because they actually, so they went to DC. They're from San Diego. So they came out to the DC game, and then they just came over from DC to here for the whole week, and they were just staying at their hotel. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, Galaxy's at our hotel. So, I mean, I think they would have said something if they saw him, and they did. So it's pretty crazy.
No way. So it wasn't planned or anything. They just kind of happened to be in the same hotel, happened to see
the
lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said they've been staying at that hotel all week since the DC game, basically.
Yeah. So she my mom was just like, he was standing right next to me. I had to say something. I was like,
wow.
It's fine. But
yeah,
it's also crazy for Sacha because like some of the guys in the locker room were talking about it, and they're like, dang, he's had such a long and great career. Like, if you think about it, I was 8 years old and now like I'm 20 and he's still playing. So
yeah, you're making him feel old right now. You know that, right?
He's had a great career.
You made us feel old. We're both players, and I got introduced as the veteran and he got introduced as the rookie. Come on.
Sorry.
We're the same, dude.
I left the ages out, right? So it's a little ambiguous. So it's good.